Marcus Thorne thought he owned the world. But now, he doesn't even own the air he breathes. I am sitting in his chair, and he is being dragged out in zip ties, all because he forgot to check the name. On the ground, under his feet for 10 years. They called me a ghost, a janitor. Marcus spat on my boots and laughed at my poverty. The board of directors walked over me like I was trash. They thought I was a nobody. Scrubbing their floors, they didn't know. I was counting every second of their arrogance. They thought they stole my father's empire, but they missed one tiny clause. In the land deed. A trap. Set 30 years ago? A secret hidden in a typewriter from 1984 while Marcus was signing a $100 billion deal. I was already deleting his entire existence. From the legal system, this is how you destroy a billionaire. Without firing a single shot. This is how I evicted the world's most powerful man. And trust me, the ending is something you will never see coming. The marble is cold. It is always cold. At 2 a.m, the lobby of Sterling and Thorne Global is a cathedral of glass and steel. It is a place of absolute silence, except for the low hum of the air conditioning and the rhythmic splash of my mop against the floor. I am a ghost. I move through these halls like a shadow. Nobody looks at the man holding the bucket. To the executives who work here, I am a piece of furniture, a biological machine designed to remove the stains they leave behind. They wear $5,000 suits. I wear a gray polyester jumpsuit. They carry leather briefcases filled with lies. I carry a bucket filled with bleach. The smell of the chemicals is sharp. It stings the back of my throat, but I prefer it to the smell of the lobby during the day. During the day, this place smells like expensive perfume and desperation. It smells like the sweat of men who are afraid of losing their status. At night, the building is honest. It is just stone and metal. I stop in front of the reception desk. I look up at the wall. The name is carved into the dark granite. Sterling and Thorne. Every night, I scrub the dust off those letters. The employees walk past them every morning. They think Sterling is just a brand. A logo they don't know. That name belongs to me. My father built this empire. He spent 40 years turning a small office into a global power. He believed in hard work. He believed in loyalty. He believed in Marcus Thorne. That was his only mistake. And it was a fatal one. 20 years ago. Marcus Thorne didn't just take the company. He took our lives. He framed my father for a multi-million-dollar fraud. He planted the evidence. He bought the witnesses. He watched as the man who built this empire died in a hospital bed, broken, penniless, and disgraced. I was 10 years old when the police took my father away. I remember the sound of the handcuffs. I remember the cold rain hitting the windshield of our car as we were evicted from our home. My mother didn't survive the shame. I was left with nothing but a last name. I had to hide. Now, I am back. I am not here to ask for a job. I am not here for a paycheck. I am here because I know every inch of this building. I know which floorboards creak. I know which security cameras have blind spots. I know the secrets hidden in the walls. The elite of this city think they are safe in their towers. They think their wealth is a fortress. They don't realize that the man cleaning their toilets is the one who holds the keys to their destruction. I move to the elevator. I press the button for the 50th floor. The executive suite. The air pressure changes as the lift climbs. My ears pop. The doors slide open to a world of thick carpets and mahogany. This is the inner sanctum. This is where Marcus Thorne makes his deals. The air here smells different. It smells like high-end espresso and old money. I begin to mop the executive hallway. I am careful, methodical. I move the heavy furniture to ensure no dust remains. I am the perfect employee. I reach the heavy double doors of the CEO's office. I use my master key. The room is dark. Only the moonlight from the floor-to-ceiling windows illuminates the space. The city lights of New York glow below like a carpet of diamonds. I walk to the desk. It is a massive piece of oak. It belonged to my father. Marcus Thorne kept it. A trophy of his conquest. I run my hand over the wood. It feels warm. Familiar, I start to clean the base of the desk. My brush catches on a small, uneven edge in the floor molding. I pause. The sound of my own breathing feels loud in the silence. I kneel down. The carpet is slightly frayed in the corner. I pull it back. Beneath the heavy fabric, there is a loose floorboard. My heart begins to hammer against my ribs. I can feel the pulse in my neck. I use the edge of my cleaning spatula to pry the wood up. It resists at first. Then, with a soft groan, it gives way. Inside this small hollow space, there is an envelope. It is yellowed with age. The paper feels brittle, like a dried leaf. I pull it out. My hands are shaking. On the front of the envelope, there is a single word written in my father's handwriting, Lazarus. I remember that word. My father used to tell me stories about the man who came back from the dead. He told me that some secrets are too powerful to stay buried. I open the envelope. Inside, there's a small broski and a single sheet of paper. It is a ledger entry from 1984. It lists a bank account in Zurich and a land trust reference number. I stare at the numbers. The ink is fading, but the truth is clear. Marcus Thorne thought he erased my father. He thought he took everything. But my father was smarter. He knew Thorne was a snake. He left a failsafe. This key doesn't open a safe. It opens a door to the past. I hear a sound from the hallway. The heavy click of leather shoes on the marble. Security. I quickly replace the floorboard. I smooth the carpet. I slide the envelope into the hidden pocket of my jumpsuit. I grab my mop. The door opens. A security guard stands there. His flashlight beam cuts through the darkness. It hits my eyes. I squint. "What are you doing in here?" The guard asks. His voice is gruff. I look down. I make my voice sound small, weak. "Just cleaning the corners." "Sir, Mr. Thorne likes them spotless." The guard sighs. He lowers the light. "Get it done and get out. You're not supposed to be in the private suite after 2. "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir." I keep my head down until I hear his footsteps fade away. I wait for the elevator to chime. I stand up straight. The weight of the envelope feels heavy against my chest, like armor. The puzzle has its first piece. I look at the chair where Marcus Thorne sits every morning. He thinks he is the king of this castle. He thinks he is the sovereign ruler of this empire. He doesn't know that the floor he walks on, the ground he stands on, it doesn't belong to him. He thinks he is having a meeting tomorrow to sell this company. He thinks he is about to become the richest man in the country. But I have the key, and tomorrow, the ghost is going to start speaking. I leave the office. I close the doors softly. I return to the lobby. The sun will be up in 3 hours. The suits will arrive. The noise will return. They will look at me and see a janitor. They won't see the man who just found the fuse to their entire world. I finish the lobby floor. The marble is shining now. It is a perfect mirror. I look at my reflection. I don't see a janitor anymore. I see the owner of the building. The boardroom is a sanctuary of greed. It sits on the top floor, high above the smog of the city, high above the common people. The air here is thin. It is filtered. It is expensive. It is precisely 68 degrees. Marcus Thorne says it keeps the mind sharp. I think it just matches the temperature of his soul. The sun is a blinding white disk outside the floor-to-ceiling glass. It reflects off the obsidian table, a single slab of volcanic rock, polished until it looks like a black mirror. I can see my reflection in the table. I see the gray jumpsuit. I see the face of a man who does not exist. I am moving the yellow bucket. The wheels make a soft, wet sound on the white silk rug. It is a sound that does not belong here. It is the sound of labor in a room built for theft. Around the table, the sharks are gathered. There is Sarah Jenkins, the head of legal. She wears a pearl necklace that costs more than my father's first house. She is looking at a contract. Her eyes are like a hawk's. She doesn't see people. She only sees clauses and liabilities. There is David Miller, the CFO. He is sweating, even in the cold room. He is checking his watch every 30 seconds. He is a man who knows the numbers don't add up, but he is too afraid to say it. And then there is Marcus Thorne. He sits at the head of the table, in my father's chair. He is wearing a midnight blue suit, handmade in London. His hair is silver. His skin is tanned from a weekend in the Hamptons. He looks like a king. He looks like a man who has never known the smell of bleach. He is holding a gold fountain pen. He is tapping it, tap, tap, tap. The sound is like a hammer hitting a nail. They are discussing the merger, the $100 billion deal. This is the moment Marcus has waited for. He wants to sell the company, to dissolve the Sterling name forever, to turn my father's legacy into a digital ghost. The restructuring will be total, Marcus says. His voice is deep, smooth, like expensive bourbon. We cut the bottom 40%. We liquefy the assets. We walk away with the cash. It is clean. It is efficient. But what about the ground lease? Sarah Jenkins asks. She points to a paragraph in the contract. Marcus waves his hand. It is a dismissive gesture. The lease is a formality. It has been held in a trust for 30 years. The owner is a dead man. We renew it automatically every century. Do not worry about the dirt, Sarah. Focus on the money. I stopped the MOP. I am only 3 feet away from him. My heart is a heavy drum in my chest. In my pocket. The Lazarus envelope feels hot. The key is pressing into my leg. I know something they don't. I know that the dead man who owns the land is standing right here. Holding a bucket of dirty water, I see a small stain on the rug. A drop of spilled espresso. It is dark, ugly, against the pristine white fabric. I lean down. I start to scrub. I am careful. I am humble. I am the perfect servant. Marcus stops talking. The tapping of the gold pen stops. The room goes silent. The silence is heavy. It is suffocating. I can feel his eyes on the back of my neck. You, Marcus says. I don't look up. I keep scrubbing. I am talking to you, janitor. I slowly stand up. I keep my head bowed. I look at his shoes. They are black Oxfords, shined to a mirror finish. I can see my own tired eyes in his leather. Yes, Mr. Thorne, I say. My voice is low. It is the voice of a man who has been broken. You're a distraction, Marcus says. He leans forward. I can smell his cologne. It is sandalwood and arrogance. You are a blemish on this meeting. Look at you. You look like a tragedy. The board members look at me. Sarah Jenkins sneers. David Miller looks away. They are embarrassed for me. They hate that I remind them that the world requires cleaning. Marcus looks down at my boots. They are my father's boots. They are old. They are scarred. They have the salt of the city and the grime of the subway on them. They are the boots of a man who worked for a living. Marcus Thorne looks at those boots, and I see the malice flash in his eyes. He remembers my father wearing boots like these. He hates them. He hates the memory of the man he betrayed. He clears his throat. It is a slow, deliberate sound. He leans over the obsidian table. He spits. It is not a mistake. It is an act of pure, institutional cruelty. The spit hits the toe of my left boot. It is a white mark against the dark. Worn leather. The room holds its breath. Then Marcus Thorne begins to laugh. It starts as a low chuckle. Then it grows. It is a dry, rasping sound, like dead leaves blowing across a grave. There, Marcus says. He wipes his mouth with a silk handkerchief. Now your boots match your soul. Filthy. Sarah Jenkins lets out a sharp, high-pitched giggle. It certainly adds a bit of character to the uniform. David Miller joins in. A nervous, barking laugh. Soon the entire board is laughing. The most powerful people in the city are mocking a man with a mop. They think they are untouchable. They think the janitor is a harmless dog. I feel the cold moisture on my boot. I don't wipe it off. I don't look angry. I don't shout. I don't lung at him. I do something much more dangerous. I look at my left wrist. Under the sleeve of my gray jumpsuit, there is an old watch, a digital Casio. The screen is scratched. The strap is plastic. It is the watch my father wore when he was arrested. I reach over with my right hand. I press the side button. The screen flickers to life. 4759. The numbers begin to move. The countdown is active. 40-8 hours. In 48 hours. The clock hits 0. In 48 hours. The land trust expires in 48 hours. This building legally ceases to exist for Marcus Thorne. I look up. For the first time, I look Marcus Thorne directly in the eye. I don't see a king. I see a man who is standing on a trapdoor. And I am the one with my hand on the lever. Is there a problem? Marcus asks. His smile begins to fade. He doesn't like my eyes. He sees something in them that wasn't there before. He sees a ghost. I look down at the spit on my boot. No, Mr. Thorne, I say. My voice is steady. It is cold. It is the sound of a closing casket. There is no problem. I am just counting the seconds. Counting the seconds for what? Marcus asks. He sounds annoyed now. I pick up my bucket. I turn the mop until the floor is clean. Taya, I walk toward the door. The wheels of the bucket squeak on the marble. The laughter has stopped. The room is cold again. I walk out of the boardroom. I close the heavy double doors behind me. The click of the lock is the only sound in the hallway. I look at the countdown on my wrist. The seconds are ticking away. Marcus Thorne thinks. He just insulted a janitor. He doesn't know that. Spit was the most expensive thing he has ever bought. It just cost him $100 billion. And his entire future. The first minute is gone. 40-7 hours. 59 minutes left. I walk to the elevator. The hunt has officially begun. The rain does not wash away the shame. It only makes the city feel heavier. I walk away from the glowing towers of Manhattan. I walk toward the shadows of the old world. My boots splash in the dark puddles of the alleyway. The spit from Marcus Thorne is gone from the leather. But I can still feel the weight of it. It feels like lead. It feels like a promise. I reach the heavy iron door of my basement. It is located beneath a laundromat that smells of cheap soap and steam. Nobody looks at me. I am just a man coming home from a night shift. I am invisible. And in this world, invisibility is the ultimate weapon. I descend the stairs. The air grows colder with every step. It smells of damp concrete, an old iron, and the lingering scent of my father's tobacco. He has been gone for 20 years. But in this room, he is still here. His ghost lives in the corners. I flip the switch. A single light bulb flickers to life. It hums, a low, constant vibration that matches the buzzing in my head. This is not a home. It is a bunker. It is a vault. I sit on the edge of my narrow bed. My chest is tight. My hands are cold. I can hear the muffled sound of the subway trains passing beneath the street. The ground shakes. The dust dances in the light of the bulb. I kneel on the floor. I pull back the worn rug. Beneath it, the floorboards are loose. I lift them with a familiar ease. Inside the hollow space, there is a crate. It is made of heavy wood, wrapped in thick, black oilcloth to protect it from the moisture. I pull the crate out. It is heavy. It carries the weight of a different era. I set it on my small wooden table. I unwrap the oilcloth. There it is, an IBM Selectric typewriter. Model year 1980-4. It is a masterpiece of mechanical engineering. It is made of cold, hammered steel. It has no screen. It has no wireless card. It has no Bluetooth. It cannot be hacked by a teenager in a bedroom. It cannot be tracked by a satellite. To the modern world, this machine is a fossil, a relic of a dead age. But to me, it is a key. My father was a man of the future, but he understood the past. He knew that one day, everything digital would be vulnerable. He knew that the only way to protect a secret was to keep it physical. He modified this typewriter. In the back of the machine, beneath the ribbon carriage, he installed a custom relay, a hardware bridge. It is connected to a dedicated analog telephone line that runs through the basement wall. It bypasses the modern internet entirely. I rub my fingers together. They are stiff from the cold. I need them to be precise. I feed a single sheet of heavy, cream-colored paper into the roller. The sound of the paper sliding in is a sharp, crisp rasp. I turn the knob. The paper sits there, blank, expectant. I reach into my jumpsuit pocket. I pull out the Lazarus envelope. I take out the brass key. I insert it into a small, hidden lock on the side of the typewriter. I turn it. The machine hums. It is a different sound than the light bulb. It is a deep, powerful throb. A mechanical heart waking up from a 30-year sleep. I look at the countdown on my watch. 40-5 hours remain. I begin to type. The keys are heavy. They require force. Every strike is a physical act. Clack, the letter S hits the paper. Clack. The letter T hits the paper. The sound is thunderous in the small room. It echoes off the concrete walls. Clack, clack, clack. I am typing a sequence of 26 characters. It is not a password. It is a coordinate. It is a pulse. Every time a key hits the ribbon, a specific frequency is sent down the analog line, 5,000 miles away. In the Swiss Alps, there is a data center. It is built into the side of a mountain. It was originally a military bunker. It is powered by its own hydroelectric generator. It is the most secure location on Earth. Inside that bunker, there is a server. It is called the Lazarus node. It has been dormant since 1994. It has been waiting for a signal. The world thinks the Sterling fortune was liquidated. They think the accounts were emptied. They think the money disappeared into the pockets of Marcus Thorne and his lawyers. They are wrong. Thorne only stole the visible wealth. He only stole the skin of the empire. He never found the bones. The bones are kept in Zurich. They are kept in a shadow network, a billion-dollar ghost fund. It was created by my father for this exact moment. A dead man's switch for the family legacy. I hit the last key. Clack. The carriage returns with a sharp, metallic ring. Ding. I hold my breath. The silence in the basement is absolute. Even the subway seems to have stopped. I look at an old green screen monitor sitting in the corner of the desk. It is connected to the typewriter relay. For a moment, nothing happens. Then a single line of text appears. Ghost network initialized. My heart skips a beat. My chest feels like it is going to explode. More text begins to scroll. It moves slowly. The green characters glowing in the dim light. Account status, active asset recovery. Initiated, sovereign deed protocol. Standby. The screen shows a number. It is a long string of digits. I count the zeros. 1, 2, 3. It is more money than Marcus Thorne has ever seen in his life. It is not just currency. It is power. It is the accumulated interest of 30 years of silence. But it is not about the money. I type a new command. Search. Marcus Thorne. Financial vulnerability. Typewriter keys move on their own now. Controlled by the server in Switzerland. They dance across the paper, typing out a list of names, dates, and accounts. I see the truth. Marcus Thorne is not as rich as he looks. The $100 billion merger is not a move of strength. It is a move of desperation. He has leveraged everything. He has borrowed billions against assets he doesn't fully own. He is a man building a castle on a foundation of lies. And I just found the crack in the foundation. The typewriter stops. I look at the final line on the green screen. Target identified. Land lease expires in 44 hours, 52 minutes. I lean back in my chair. The wood creaks. I feel a strange sense of calm. The cold doesn't bother me anymore. Marcus Thorne thinks he is a titan. He thinks he can spit on a janitor and walk away clean. He doesn't realize the janitor isn't cleaning the floors. Anymore, the janitor is rewriting history. I pull the sheet of paper from the typewriter. I hold it in my hands. It feels like a weapon. It feels like the sword my father never got to use. I look at the wall. I have a map of the Sterling building. I have a list of every board member, every security guard, every weak link in the chain. The ghost network is awake. The money is moving. The trap is set. Tomorrow, I will walk back into that building. I will carry my bucket. I will carry my mop. And I will watch Marcus Thorne sign his own death warrant. But there is one more thing. I look at the green screen. I type one last question. Who is the third party? My father always told me. Thorne was not alone. There was a shadow behind the shadow. A person who gave him the evidence to frame my father. The screen stays blank for a long time. The hum of the machine grows louder. Then a name appears. Ah, name I recognize. A name that makes my blood turn to ice. It isn't a business rival. It isn't a politician. It is someone. From inside my own family, I stare at the name until the green light burns into my sits. Retinas. The betrayal is deeper than I thought. The revenge will have to be even more absolute. I stand up. I turn off the light. The basement is dark. But for the first time in 20 years, I can see everything clearly. The countdown continues. The name on the screen is a poison. It is a name I have loved for 20 years. A name that represented the last of my blood. The last of my home. Elizabeth Sterling. My father's only sister. The woman who held my hand at my mother's funeral. The woman who cried with me when the bank took our house. She told me she was broke. She told me she had nothing to give. But the green screen of the Lazarus node does not lie. It shows the wire transfers. It shows the secret meetings. It shows that Elizabeth didn't just watch our family fall. She pushed us. She was the one who handed Marcus Thorne the keys to my father's private safe. She sold her own brother for a 10% stake in a shadow company. The air in the basement feels like it is vanishing. I can't breathe. My chest is tight. Like an iron band is being singed around my ribs. The smell of the damp concrete is overwhelming now. It smells like a grave. I look at the typewriter. The steel keys are cold. They look like teeth. I want to scream. I want to run to her house and demand an answer. But I don't. I stay still. I am a janitor. And janitors know how to wait for the mess to settle. I turn my attention back to the scrolling text. The Lazarus node is deeper than a bank account. It is a legal labyrinth. I see a folder titled The Shadow Trust. I type the command to open it. The mechanical relay in the typewriter clicks and pops. It sounds like bones snapping in the dark. The printer carriage moves slowly, one character at a time. I read the words as they appear. My eyes widen. My vision blurs for a second. I have to lean in closer to the green glow dot. My father was not just a CEO. He was a visionary. He knew that companies can be stolen. He knew that shares can be manipulated. He knew that paper wealth is an illusion. So he did something radical. He didn't just build a Sterling and Thorne skyscraper. He bought the dirt beneath it. I stare at the legal description. Parcel 649, Manhattan District. The Shadow Trust is the sole owner of the land. Not the building, not the steel and glass, but the physical earth, the foundation, the bedrock dot in the world of the elite. This is the ultimate power move. It is called a ground lease. Marcus Thorne and his board of directors own the building. They own the desks. They own the computers. They own the brand. But they are tenants. They are renters on my father's land. I see the date of the original agreement. July 1926. It was a 99-year lease. I look at my watch. The digital numbers are blinking. 40-8 hours. The lease expires in exactly 48 hours. At midnight on Thursday, the 99 years are up. If the lease is not renewed, the building and everything inside it legally reverts to the landowner. It is a total forfeiture. A systematic erasure of every asset Marcus Thorne thinks he owns. The skyscraper, the furniture, the digital servers. Everything becomes the property of the Shadow Trust, and I am the sole trustee of the Shadow Trust. I realize why Marcus is rushing the $100 billion merger. He knows. He has to know. He is trying to sell a building he is about to lose. He is trying to commit the biggest fraud in history. He wants to take the cash and run before the clock hits 0. He thinks the landowner is a ghost. He thinks the Sterling bloodline is extinct. I feel a cold smile spread across my face. It feels strange. My skin feels tight. Marcus Thorne spent today spitting on my boots. He spent today laughing at the cleaning boy. He is planning a celebration for the merger tomorrow night. He has invited the governors. He has invited the bankers. He has invited the media. He wants to stand on the top floor and toast to his own genius. But he is standing on a trapdoor, and the key is sitting on my wooden table in this basement. I look at the brass key from the envelope. It isn't just for the typewriter. I see a small, hidden compartment in the base of the machine. I use the key to turn a lock I hadn't seen before. A small drawer slides out. Inside there is a single, original document, the sovereign deed. It is printed on vellum. It feels like skin. It smells like old libraries and wax. It has the seal of the city from a century ago. This is the only copy in existence. My father removed the digital records from the city archives years ago. He knew Thorne would try to burn them. He knew Thorne would try to bribe the officials. Without this piece of paper, Marcus Thorne cannot prove he has the right to occupy the building. Without this paper, the merger is a crime. I look at the name of the trustee on the deed. Arthur Sterling. The world thinks Arthur Sterling is dead. They think he died in the same hospital as his father. But Arthur Sterling is just wearing a gray jumpsuit. He is just holding a mop. The irony is a physical weight in the room. I have been cleaning the floors of a building that I legally own. I've been taking orders from a man who is technically my tenant. A tenant who hasn't paid rent in 20 years. I calculate the back rent, the penalties, the interest. If I trigger the default clause, Marcus Thorne doesn't just lose the company. He owes the trust $3 billion in immediate reparations. He will be more than broke. He will be a debtor to a ghost. I hear a sound outside. Above me, the laundromat is closing. The heavy security gate is being pulled down. The metal screeches against the pavement. It sounds like a guillotine. I have 48 hours to prepare the final strike. I need to get into the building one last time. Not to clean, but to plant the digital virus that will link the Lazarus node to the building's main display. I want everyone to see it. I want the whole world to watch when the numbers on the screen change from 100 billion to 0. I want to see the look on Aunt Elizabeth's face when she realizes she bet on the wrong side. She thought she was joining the winners. She didn't realize she was joining a sinking ship. I start to type the final sequence into the IBM. My fingers move with a new energy. The keys are loud. They are violent. Every strike is a heartbeat. Clack, clack, clack. I am drafting the notice of termination. It is a short document. Only 3 paragraphs. But it is enough to destroy an empire. I will deliver it myself. I won't use a lawyer. I won't use a process server. I will wait until the moment the pens are in their hands. I will wait until the champagne is poured. I will walk into that boardroom. I will put my bucket down. And I will hand Marcus Thorne the bill for 30 years of arrogance. I look at the green screen. The countdown is now 47 hours and 30 minutes. The silence of the basement is gone. The room feels alive. The ghost of my father is no longer mourning. He is waiting. I stand up. I wrap the typewriter back in the oilcloth. I hide the deed in my jumpsuit. Against my heart, I walk to the small mirror above the sink. I wash the grime from my face. I look at my eyes. They are not the eyes of a janitor anymore. They are the eyes of a sovereign. I leave the basement. I walk out into the rain. The city looks different now. The lights of the Sterling building are visible in the distance. It is a tower of glass. It looks fragile, like it could shatter with a single word. I start walking toward the tower. I have a job to do, but I am not going to clean the floors. I am going to take them back. As I reach the corner of the street, a black sedan pulls up. The window rolls down. It is a man in a dark suit, one of Thorne's personal security team. He looks at me with disgust. "Hey, trash man," he yells. Thorne wants the executive suite scrubbed again. He says you missed a spot. Get over there now. I look at him. I don't flinch. I don't lower my head. I just nod. I'm on my way. I say good. The guard sneers. "And don't forget your place this time." The car speeds off, splashing water onto my boots. I smile. I'm not forgetting my place. I'm finally going to it. The sun rises over the city like a gilded coin. It hits the glass of the Sterling and Thorne building, turning it into a pillar of fire. Inside, the air is electric. Today is the day of the merger. $100 billion. Marcus Thorne stands at his window on the 50th floor. He is wearing a suit made of silk and victory. He breathes in the scent of his own success. It smells like leather, an expensive espresso, and the fear of his enemies. He looks down at the street. The people below look like ants. To Marcus, they are ants. He has reached the summit. By noon today, he will sign the papers. He will be untouchable. He will have more money than God and more power than the government. But there is a splinter in his mind. He thinks about the janitor. He thinks about the spit on the boot. He remembers the way Aria Sterling looked at him in the boardroom. Those eyes. They weren't the eyes of a broken servant. They were the eyes of a judge, a man who knows a secret. Marcus turns away from the window. The shadow of the building falls across his face. He feels a sudden, sharp chill. It is ridiculous. He is the king. Why does he feel like he is being watched by a ghost? He picks up his phone. It is a custom, gold-plated device. He presses a single button. "Security," he says. His voice is a low growl. "Yes, Mr. Thorne." "The janitor. The one from the boardroom yesterday, Arthur." "Yes, sir. He is on the maintenance floor now, making his rounds." Marcus taps his fingers on the obsidian desk. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of a closing trap. "I want him removed." Marcus says, "Not fired, removed. Do you understand? He is a liability. He knows too much about the old days. I want him gone, permanently, before the signing ceremony at 6 p.m. There is a pause on the other end. The guard knows what permanently means in Marcus Thorne's vocabulary. It means the basement. It means a dark van. It means a name that is never spoken again. Consider it done. "Sir, we will handle him in the service tunnels. Nobody will see a thing." Marcus hangs up. He smiles. He feels better now. He reaches for his coffee. The porcelain is warm. He takes a long sip. He is ready to become a legend. 50 floors below. I am not in the maintenance tunnels. I am in the server room. The heart of the machine. The air here is cold, freezing. It is designed to keep the silicon brains from melting. Under the pressure of 1 billion calculations, it smells of ozone and static electricity. The sound is a constant, high-pitched whine, the scream of 1 million numbers per second. I am wearing my gray jumpsuit, but under the fabric, I have the sovereign deed pressed against my skin. It feels like armor. I have the brass key in my hand. It is cold. I am not mopping. I am standing in front of the main terminal, the one that controls every lock, every elevator, every camera in this tower. I have the hardware relay from the IBM typewriter. I have plugged it directly into the master port. The green screen from my basement is now mirrored on the giant monitors of the executive hub. The Lazarus node is hungry. It is feeding on the building's data. It is bypassing the firewalls. It is eating the security protocols. I see the security cameras on the screen. I see 3 men, heavy men. in dark suits. They are getting into the service elevator. They have the permanent removal look in their eyes. They are headed for the basement. They think I am hiding in the supply closet. They think they are hunting a rabbit. I watch them on the monitor. They are checking their weapons. They are talking into their sleeves. He is a ghost. One of them says, "But every ghost has a body." We find him. We put him in the furnace. No body. No problem. I feel a drop of sweat run down my spine. It is cold, even in this freezing room. My hands are steady, but my heart is racing like a trapped bird. I am not a fighter. I am a janitor. I do not have a gun. I do not have a knife. I have a keyboard, and I have the truth. I wait until their elevator reaches the 40th floor. Then I strike. I type a single command into the green screen. Lockdown Protocol 7. The building groans. It is a deep, metallic sound. It travels through the steel skeleton of the tower. Suddenly, the elevator stops. The lights inside the cab turn a deep, warning red dot. I see the guards on the camera. They are confused. They are pressing the buttons. They are slamming their fists against the reinforced doors. What is happening? The lead guard screams. The board is dead. Get the manual override. There is no manual override. Not anymore. I have severed the connection between the physical world and the digital one. The building is no longer under Marcus Thorne's control. It belongs to the Shadow Trust now. I move to the next step. I open the security gates for the executive floor. But I lock every exit, every fire stairwell, every emergency hatch. I am trapping the sharks in their own tank. I can hear the sirens in the distance. Not the police. Not yet. It is the building's internal alarm. Slow, mournful wail that sounds like a funeral bell. I look at the countdown. On my watch. 8 hours until the merger. Marcus Thorne thinks he is going to stand on a stage and sign a paper. He thinks he is going to be the king of the world. He does not realize. The doors to his office are now solid steel. The elevators are frozen. The phone lines are dead. He is a prisoner in his own palace. I pick up my mop. I walk out of the server room. I have one more job to do before the sun goes down. I need to find my Aunt Elizabeth. I need to see the face of the woman who betrayed my father. I walk down the hallway. The lights are flickering. The building feels like it is breathing, like it is waking up from a long nightmare. The guards are still trapped in the elevator. I can hear them screaming through the vents. The sound is muffled, distant. I do not feel pity. I do not feel fear. I feel the weight of the brass key against my chest. The ghost is in the machine, and the machine is hungry for justice. I walk toward the executive elevators. They are the ones lined with gold leaf, the ones that only move for a fingerprint of the elite. I stand in front of the scanner. The red light scans my eyes. Usually it would deny me. Usually it would call the police. But today, the Lazarus node recognizes the DNA. It recognizes the son of the founder. The light turns green. The doors slide open. They make no sound. It is a smooth, expensive silence. I step inside. I press the button for the 50th floor. The elevator begins to rise. It is fast. My stomach drops. I watch the floor numbers fly by on the digital display. 40, 41, 42. I can see the city through the glass back of the lift. The world is getting smaller. The problems of the people below are disappearing. This is how Marcus Thorne sees the world. This is why he is so arrogant. When you live in the clouds, you forget that you are still connected to the earth. The elevator stops. The doors open to the executive lobby. It is chaos. The assistants are running in circles. The phones are ringing, but nobody can answer them. The digital displays on the walls are showing lines of old code instead of stock prices. The system is down. A woman screams. The entire network is dark. Call the providers. They do not see me. I am just a janitor. I walk through the panic with my mop bucket. I look like I am looking for a spill. I reach the office of Elizabeth Sterling. The door is heavy mahogany. It has her name in gold letters. Vice President. I push the door open. She is standing at her window. She is holding a glass of scotch. Her hand is shaking. She looks older than I remember. The guilt has etched lines into her face that no money could erase. She looks up. She sees the gray jumpsuit. She sees the bucket. Not now. She snaps. The office is closed. Get out. I do not get out. I close the door behind me. I turn the manual lock. Hello, Aunt Elizabeth, I say. She freezes. The glass of scotch falls from her hand. It hits the carpet with a dull thud. The liquid soaks into the white fabric. It smells like peat and expensive mistakes. She stares at me. Her eyes are wide. Her mouth opens. But no sound comes out, Arthur. She whispers. Her voice is thin, brittle, like dry glass. You look surprised. Say. I step closer. Did you think the hospital took care of me? Or did Marcus tell you I was gone? She shakes her head. She stumbles back against her desk. We thought you disappeared. We looked for you, Arthur. I swear. You did not look very hard, I say. I point to the floor. I have been cleaning your office for 5 years. I have been emptying your trash. I have been listening to your meetings. I was right here, Elizabeth. I was the ghost in your peripheral vision. She starts to cry. It is a fake. Performance cry. The kind she used at my father's funeral. Arthur, you do not understand. We had no choice. The company was failing. Marcus had a plan. We did it for the family. The family. I laugh. It is a cold, empty sound. You sold my father for a 10% stake. You let him die in a public ward without his name. You let me grow up in a basement while you sat in this office. I reach into my pocket. I pull out the sheet of paper from the typewriter, the one with her name on it. The Lazarus node woke up today. Elizabeth. It showed me everything. Every wire transfer, every secret meeting, every lie you told to the police. She looks at the paper. She knows she is caught. The performance stops. Her face turns hard, cold. So what? She spits. You are a janitor, Arthur. You have a piece of paper from 30 years ago. Marcus is about to sign a deal that will make us gods. You cannot stop it. You are nothing. I look at the clock on her wall. The deal is dead. Elizabeth, the building is in lockdown. Your guards are trapped in an elevator, and Marcus Thorne is currently a prisoner in his own office. I lean over her desk and the land under your feet. It does not belong to the company. It belongs to me. I turn to leave. Wait. She screams, Arthur, we can make a deal. I will give you my shares. Just let me out. I do not look back. I do not want your shares, Elizabeth. I want my father's name back. I walk out into the hallway. The building is shaking now. The pressure is building. I head toward Marcus Thorne's office. The final hour of his reign is coming, and the digital doors are locked from the inside. There is no escape for the king. The janitor is coming for the crown. I hear a heavy thud against the wall. The guards are trying to break out of the elevator. They are using a fire axe. I smile. Let them try. The steel is reinforced. The software is ancient, and the clock is still ticking. The end is near, and it is going to be beautiful. The lights in the hallway go out. One by one, the only light left is the green glow from the Lazarus node on the walls. The ghost is in complete control, and the world is about to find out what happens when you spit on the wrong man. The hallway is a tomb of glass and silence. The red emergency lights pulse like a dying heart. 1, 2, 1. 2, the rhythmic flash casts long, twisted shadows against the mahogany walls. I walk toward the double doors of the main office. My footsteps are heavy. They echo with the sound of destiny. I can smell the ozone from the server room clinging to my clothes. It is a sharp, metallic scent. It smells like the end of an era. I reach the corner before the final stretch. I hear the sound of heavy breathing, the squeak of rubber soles on the polished floor. Two of the guards are waiting for me. They have escaped the service elevators. Their faces are red. Their eyes are wild with the panic of men who have lost control. They see the gray jumpsuit. They see the man they have ignored for years. There he is. The taller one yells. They lung at me. I do not run. I do not hide. I stand my ground in the center of the corridor. The air around me feels thick, like I am standing in the eye of a storm. The tall guard grabs my right arm. His grip is like a vice. It is painful. I can feel the heat of his skin through my sleeve. The other guard slams me against the wall. The impact rattles my teeth. My head hits the wood with a dull thud. For a second, the world spins. I feel a sharp pain in my shoulder. But I do not cry out. You think you can lock us in? The tall guard snarls. He presses his forearm against my throat. I can smell the stale coffee on his breath. I can see the sweat dripping from his brow. You think a janitor can take down this building? You are going to pay for this, Arthur. I look him in the eyes. I do not see a predator. I see a man who is already irrelevant. The building is not the only thing that is locked, I whisper. My voice is calm. It is a razor in the dark. The guard freezes. He doesn't understand. He thinks he has the power because his hands are around my neck. He doesn't realize that power is no longer physical. I lean my head toward his ear. I can feel the stubble on his cheek. I speak the 12 digits. I speak them clearly. 0, 9, 1, 2, 1, 9, 9, 4. Alpha Zeta. Alpha. The code is a bridge. It is the final command for the Lazarus node, as the last digit leaves my lips. A low hum vibrates through the walls. It is a sound that starts in the basement and travels to the roof. It is the sound of the sovereign default protocol being activated. 50 feet away. Inside the main office, Marcus Thorne is on the phone. He is screaming at his banker in London. What do you mean the transaction is blocked? Marcus roars. I am Marcus Thorne. I have 50 billion in the liquidity pool. Process the transfer now. He is standing behind his obsidian desk. His face is purple. A vein is throbbing in his temple. He is looking at his computer screen. The screen flickers. The high-resolution charts disappear. The numbers vanish. A single message appears in white text on a black background. Identity not found. Marcus stares at the words. He doesn't comprehend. He picks up his gold-plated tablet. He opens his private banking app. Era 404. User does not exist. He grabs his wallet. He pulls out his black titanium credit card. The one with no limit. The one that can buy a private island. He swipes it through the desk reader. Declined. He tries his secondary card. Declined. He tries the corporate account card. Declined. Marcus Thorne's hands begin to shake. The silence in the room is terrifying. The phones have stopped ringing. The lights have stopped flickering. The building has become a digital desert. Outside in the hallway, the guards feel the change. Their radios crackle with static. A voice comes through the speakers. It is the automated voice of the building's central core. Warning. All security credentials for Marcus Thorne have been revoked. All assets associated with the Thorne estate have been seized by the Sovereign Trust. The tall guard lets go of my neck. He looks at his radio. He looks back at me. His face is pale now. The aggression is gone. It has been replaced by a primal existential fear. What did you do? He asks. His voice is a whisper. I didn't do anything, I say. I adjust my jumpsuit. I straighten my collar. The system did. The system finally noticed that Marcus Thorne is a thief, and the system has deleted him. I walk past the guards. They do not move. They do not try to stop me. They are no longer employed. They are no longer guards. Their paychecks have just evaporated into the digital ether. They are as invisible as I used to be. I push open the double doors to Marcus Thorne's office. The room is dark. The only light comes from the giant monitors on the wall. They are all displaying the same message. Identity not found. Marcus Thorne is sitting in his chair. He looks small. He looks old. He is staring at his hands, as if he is checking to see if they are still there. Marcus, I say. He looks up. He doesn't see a janitor. He sees a reaper. Arthur, he says. His voice is hollow. My money. My accounts? They are gone. Everything is zero. It says I don't exist. You don't, eh? Say. I walk toward the desk. In the eyes of the law and the eyes of the bank, Marcus Thorne is a ghost. You have no credit. You have no property. You have no name. I have the merger. Marcus screams. He stands up. He lunges for the contract on the desk. The papers are here. The investors are coming. They will give me the cash. I will rebuild. I reach out. I put my hand on the contract. The investors are not coming. Marcus, I point to the monitor on the far wall. The news ticker is scrolling. Breaking news. Thorne and Sterling Global declares sovereign default. All assets frozen. CEO Marcus Thorne under investigation for identity fraud. You see, say, I lean in close. The 12-digit code I just used. It didn't just freeze your money. It triggered a global audit. It told the world that every cent you have ever made was stolen from my father. The banks have already clawed it back. Marcus Thorne sinks back into his chair. He looks like a man who has been hit by a freight train. He looks at the obsidian desk. This is my building, he whispers. I built this. No, I say. I reach into my jumpsuit and pull out the sovereign deed. I unfold it slowly. The sound of the parchment is like a gunshot in the quiet room. You built a cage on my father's land. I lay the deed on the desk, right over his signature on the merger contract. The lease expired 5 minutes ago. Marcus, you are currently trespassing. I hear the sound of the elevator chiming in the lobby. The heavy, measured footsteps of men in boots. It is not the security guards, it is the federal marshals. Marcus Thorne looks at the door. He looks at the deed. He looks at me. Who are you? He asks. I smile. It is the first real smile I have had in 20 years. I am the man who just evicted you from the world. I turn and walk toward the window. I look out at the city. The sun is setting. The lights of the skyline are coming on. Behind me, I hear the office doors being kicked open. Marcus Thorne, you are under arrest for grand larceny, financial terrorism, and fraud. I hear the click of the handcuffs. The same sound I heard 20 years ago, but this time, the sound is not for a Sterling dot. It is for the man who tried to delete us. I look at my watch. The countdown has hit 0. The sovereign default is complete. But the revenge is only half finished. I look at the door. The marshals are leading Marcus out. He is screaming. He is crying. He is a pathetic, broken shell. But there is someone else standing in the doorway. Someone who isn't wearing a badge. Someone who has been watching from the shadows the entire time. My heart stops. The true architect of the betrayal has finally stepped into the light, and it isn't Aunt Elizabeth. Then silence is louder than the screaming. In the hallway, the tall guard is still reaching for his handcuffs, but his hand freezes. A sharp, high-pitched chirp rings out from his belt. It is the sound of a security override. He looks down at his digital ID badge. The green light is gone. In its place, a pulsing, angry red. The system has not just frozen him, it has erased him. He swipes his card at the reader. The machine emits a harsh, mechanical buzz. Access denied. He tries the emergency radio. Static. Nothing but cold. Dead static. The guards look at each other. The fear in their eyes is primal. They are no longer the hunters. They are the prey. Trapped in a glass cage of their own making. I do not look at them. I do not have to. I walk past the men who were supposed to end my life. My gray jumpsuit is stained with the city's grime, but I move with the grace of a king returning to his throne. The air in the executive corridor is thick with the scent of expensive cedar and the metallic tang of fear. I reach the heavy double doors of the grand boardroom. The Lazarus doors dot inside. The room is a sanctuary of opulence. The obsidian table is covered in documents, legal papers, billion-dollar contracts. The air smells of rich espresso and the floral perfume of Sarah Jenkins. The board members are sitting in their high-backed leather chairs. They are waiting for the final signature. They are waiting for the moment they become gods. The door opens. The room goes silent. Every head turns. They expect to see the federal marshals. They expect to see the end. Instead, they see the janitor. I walk to the center of the room. The wheels of my mop bucket make a wet. Rhythmic sound on the white silk rug, squeak, splash, squeak, splash. It is the sound of reality. Crashing into a fantasy, Marcus Thorne is standing at the head of the table. He is sweating. His midnight blue suit is crumpled. He looks at me. His eyes are bloodshot. He looks like a man who has been screaming into a void. "Get out!" Marcus roars. His voice cracks. "Security. Where is security? Take this trash out of here." Nobody moves. The board members look at each other. They have heard the building's alarms. They have seen the identity not found messages on their own tablets. They know the ship is sinking, and they are looking for a lifeboat. The guards aren't coming. "Marcus," I say. My voice is steady. It is a cold wind in a warm room. Their clearances were revoked 2 minutes ago. They are currently locked in the service foyer, just like you. Marcus Thorne stumbles back. He hits his father's oak desk. He looks at Sarah Jenkins. "Sarah, call the police. Call the governor. This is a kidnapping. This is a hostile takeover." Sarah Jenkins doesn't move. She is staring at her phone. Her face is as white as the marble floors. "The network is dead, Marcus," she whispers. "There is no signal, no data, nothing. We are cut off." Marcus Thorne growls. He lunges for the landline on the desk. The antique, brass telephone. The one he used to order the destruction of my father. He picks up the receiver. His hand is shaking so hard the brass rattles against his ring. He punches in 911. He holds the phone to his ear. He is breathing heavily. I can hear the air raspy in his lungs. "Hello? Hello?" Marcus screams into the receiver. "This is Marcus Thorne. I am at Sterling Global. I have an intruder. Send everyone. Do you hear me? Send everyone." He stops. His eyes go wide. He pulls the phone away from his ear. He stares at it as if it were a snake. From the receiver, a voice begins to play. It is not a dial tone. It is not an operator. It is a voice from the past. The evidence is planted. Marcus, the old man, won't know what hit him. By tomorrow morning, Arthur Sterling will be the most hated man in New York. The room goes ice cold. The board members freeze. They recognize that voice. It is Marcus Thorne. From 1994, the recording is crystal clear. It is the sound of a predator celebrating his kill. "Good," a second voice says. It is a voice I recognize. The shadow from the hallway and the sun. The boy. The boy is a nobody. Marcus's recorded voice says. He laughs. A dry, cruel sound. "We'll leave him enough for a mop and a bucket. Let him scrub the floors his father walked on." It's poetic, don't you think? Marcus Thorne drops the phone. It hits the obsidian table with a heavy, metallic clang. The recording continues to play, echoing off the glass walls. The fraud is perfect. Elizabeth, the Sterling name, is dead. From now on, this is our empire. Marcus Thorne looks at me. He looks at the janitor uniform. He looks at the boots he spat on. The realization hits him like a physical blow. He sinks into his chair. The chair my father built. Q. He whispers, "You had the tapes. All this time." "No," I say. I step closer. I can smell the sour sweat of his defeat. "My father had the tapes. He knew you were coming. He just didn't know how deep the rot went. He saved them in the Lazarus node, waiting for the day the Sterling name was ready to fight back. Ah! I look around the room. The board members are shrinking in their seats. They are seeing the truth of the man they followed. They are seeing the blood on the money. This merger is over. My voice fills the room. It is the voice of the building itself. The Sovereign Trust has declared a total default. Every asset in this room is now under the control of the Sterling estate. I pick up the gold fountain pen from the table, the one Marcus was going to use to sell my soul. I snap it in half. The blue ink leaks out. It looks like blood on the white papers. Marcus Thorne. I say, you are no longer the CEO. You are no longer a board member. You are a trespasser in my home. I hear the sound of the elevator again. This time, the doors don't just open. They are blown open. The federal marshals enter the room. They are led by a man in a gray suit. He has a badge on his belt, and the file in his hand. He doesn't look at me. He walks straight to Marcus Thorne. Keys, Thorne? You are under arrest for the 1994 fraud of Sterling Global, for wire fraud, and for the attempted sale of stolen assets. The marshals grab Marcus. They pull him out of the chair. They don't use the silk handkerchiefs. They use steel. The click of the handcuffs is the most beautiful sound I have ever heard. Marcus is lead away. He is babbling. He is trying to offer them money. He is trying to blame Elizabeth. He is trying to be the man he used to be. But that man is gone. The room begins to empty. The board members are being let out for questioning. Sarah Jenkins is crying. David Miller is staring at the floor. I am left alone in the boardroom. The sun is low in the sky now. The orange light floods the room. It makes the obsidian look like gold. I walk to the window. I look at the city. I am still wearing the janitor uniform. I still have the mop, but the building is quiet. The ghosts are finally at peace. I turn around. The shadow from the hallway is standing there. The person who was in the recording, the person who gave Marcus the keys 20 years ago. It isn't Aunt Elizabeth. She was just a pawn. The person standing in the doorway is the one person I never expected. The one person my father trusted more than anyone. The person who has been waiting for me to finish the job. They step into the light. And my world shatters for the final time. The chair of the chairman is made of hand-stitched leather. It is soft. It is warm. It still holds the heat of the thief who just occupied it. I sit down slowly. I do not feel like a janitor anymore. I feel like a man who has finally stepped out of a long, dark tunnel. I am still wearing my gray jumpsuit. The name Arthur is stitched in faded red thread over my chest. My boots are still stained with the spit of the man who is currently in handcuffs. The contrast is absolute. A cleaning boy in the seat of a god. The room is settling into a heavy, oppressive silence. The federal marshals have Marcus Thorne by the arms. They are halfway to the door. But Marcus stops. He digs his heels into the silk rug. He turns his head. His eyes lock onto mine. He sees me sitting there. He sees me leaning back in the chair that he thought was his throne. "Get out of that chair," Marcus whispers. His voice is a broken rasp. "You are filth. You are a ghost. You have no right to touch that wood." I do not answer him with words. Not yet. I reach into the deep pocket of my jumpsuit. My fingers touch the vellum. It is cold. It is thick. I pull out the sovereign deed. I lay it flat on the obsidian table. The white parchment glows under the emergency lights. It looks like a holy relic in a room of sins. "The right is not in the chair, Marcus," I say. My voice is deep. It carries the weight of 30 years of waiting. The right is in the earth. I slide the document across the table. It stops inches away from his cuffed hands. Marcus looks down at it. He tries to look away, but he can't. The paper has a magnetic power. "Read the first line, Marcus," I say. The lead marshal pauses. He allows Marcus to lean forward. Marcus narrows his eyes. He reads the calligraphy. The ink is old, but the message is timeless. The Lazarus deed. Marcus reads. His voice is trembling. Keep going, I say. I, Henry Sterling, being of sound mind, do hereby place the land known as Parcel 649 into a sovereign trust for the sole benefit of my bloodline. This land is leased to the Sterling and Thorne Corporation for a term of 99 years, commencing July 1926. Marcus stops. He looks up at me. His face is a pale mask of confusion. So what? He spits. It's a ground lease. Every building in Manhattan has a ground lease. The company pays the rent. The company has the rights. I lean forward. I place my hands on the table. My knuckles are white. The company did have the rights, Marcus, until 5 minutes ago. You see, my father knew you were a snake. He knew you would try to steal the building. So he didn't put the land in the company name. He kept it separate. In the shadow trust, I point to the second page of the deed. The lease has a moral turpitude clause. Section 12. Paragraph 4. If the tenant is found to have committed a felony against the Sterling bloodline, the lease terminates immediately. No notice required. No grace period. The land, and everything standing upon it, reverts to the trustee. Marcus shakes his head. He is trying to find a lie. He is trying to find a way out. That's impossible, Marcus says. The lawyers checked everything. We had audits. We had the city records. We had the records I wanted you to have. I say. I stand up. I walk around the table. My boots make a heavy, echoing sound on the floor. The Lazarus note didn't just hide the money. It hid the truth. My father spent the last year of his life erasing the deed from the public eye. He knew you would try to buy the land if you knew you didn't own it. He let you believe you were the master of the tower. He let you build a $100 billion empire on property that didn't belong to you. I stop in front of him. I am inches away from his face. I can smell the fear coming off him. It smells like sour milk. You are not just broke, Marcus. You are a trespasser. The word hangs in the air. It is a legal execution. The marshals are here to arrest you for fraud, I say. But I am here to evict you. Legally, you do not own the air in this room. You do not own the carpet under your feet. Every second you spend in this building from now on, you are racking up a debt you can never pay. Marcus Thorne looks around the boardroom. He looks at the glass. He looks at the skyline. He looks at the empire he spent. His life stealing, it is all gone. It was never his. He was a squatter in a $5,000 suit. You planned this, Marcus whispers, since you were a boy. You stayed here. You cleaned the toilets. You watched me. I didn't just watch you, Marcus. I waited for you to be at your highest point. I waited for the moment you thought you were a god. Because the fall is only meaningful when you have something to lose. I turn to the federal marshals. Take him away, I say. He is dirtying my floor. The marshals nod. They pull Marcus toward the elevator. He doesn't fight anymore. He is a hollow man. He looks like he has aged 20 years in 20 minutes as they reach the doors. Marcus looks back one last time. Who is the other one? He asks. The one in the recording? The one who helped me. I look at the shadow standing in the doorway. The person who has been waiting in the silence. The person steps into the light. It is the family lawyer. Thomas Vance. The man who was my father's best friend. The man who sat at our dinner table every Sunday. The man who told the police my father was guilty. He is holding a leather briefcase. He looks at me with a cold, professional smile. Hello, Arthur, Thomas says. His voice is smooth. It hasn't changed in 30 years. Thomas, I say. My chest feels like it is being crushed by a weight. You were the one. You gave Marcus the safe codes. You signed the false affidavits. Thomas Vance nods. He doesn't look ashamed. He looks like a man who just completed a transaction. Business is business. Arthur, your father was a dreamer. Marcus was a doer. I chose the winning side. It served me well for 3 decades. He walks into the room. He stands at the obsidian table. He looks at the sovereign deed. But I am a lawyer, Arthur. I follow the paper. And the paper says you are now the most powerful man in the city. He opens his briefcase. He pulls out a single, gold-sealed envelope. Marcus is gone, Thomas says. But the merger is still on the table. The investors don't care who the chairman is. They just want the deal. If you sign these papers, you get the $100 billion, and I get my commission. Look at the papers. I look at the man who betrayed my father. You think I want the money? I ask. Thomas laughs. It is a soft, elegant sound. Everyone wants the money. Arthur, don't be a martyr. Your father is dead. The past is dead. Sign the papers. Become the king you were born to be. I can make the legal problems disappear. We can be partners. I look at my hands. They are stained with the chemicals of the floor. They are the hands of a worker. I look at the Lazarus deed. I realize that the revenge is not over. Marcus Thorne was the weapon, but Thomas Vance was the hand that held it. I reach for the pen on the table. Thomas Vance smiles. He leans in. He can see the commission. He can see the victory. That's it, Thomas whispers. Just sign, and we win everything. Move the pen toward the paper, but I don't. Sign my name. I look up at Thomas Vance. There is one more. Clause in the Lazarus deed. Thomas 1. You didn't see. Thomas Vance's smile falters. What are you talking about? The trust has a secondary trustee, I say. A person who has the power to veto any merger, any sale, any transaction. I look past Thomas, toward the elevator. The doors open. A woman walks out. She is wearing a simple black dress. She has white hair and eyes that look like cold steel. It is my mother. The woman the world thought died of shame. 20 years ago, the woman Thomas Vance told me was buried in a nameless grave. She is alive. And she is holding the final piece of the puzzle. Thomas Vance turns around. His face goes gray. The briefcase falls from his hand. Mary, he whispers. My mother doesn't say a word. She walks to the table. She looks at the man who betrayed her husband. She reaches out and slaps him. The sound is like a gunshot. The real war is just beginning. The sound of the slap is the only thing left in the universe. It is sharp. It is final. It is the sound of 30 years of lies being shattered in a single second. Thomas Vance stumbles back. His hand goes to his cheek. The skin is already turning a deep, angry red. He looks at my mother. His eyes are wide with a terror that goes beyond the law. He is looking at a woman he thought he had buried. He is looking at the physical manifestation of his own guilt. The boardroom is a tomb. The air is cold. It is sterile. It smells of expensive wood polish and the metallic temps of the oxygen system. Outside, the sun has dipped below the horizon. The sky is a bruised purple. The city lights are beginning to twinkle like distant stars. But in here, there is only the green glow of the Lazarus node. It reflects off the obsidian table. It reflects off the tears in my mother's eyes. You thought you killed the heart of this family, Thomas, my mother says. Her voice is low. It is steady. It is the sound of a storm that has been brewing for 3 decades. You told my son I was dead. You told the world I was a coward. But I was not hiding from you. I was waiting for you to get comfortable. Thomas Vance tries to speak. His throat moves, but no words come out. He looks at the sovereign deed on the table. He looks at the gold-sealed envelope in his hand. The merger is a ghost. The money is a memory. I turn back to the terminal. My fingers are hovering over the keys of the IBM typewriter. The mechanical hum is a constant, throbbing pulse. It is the heart of the building, and I have my hand on the valve. It is time, Arthur, my mother says. She walks over to me. She places her hand on my shoulder. Her touch is warm. It is the first time I have felt the warmth of family in 20 years. Trigger the clause. End it. I look at the screen. The cursor is blinking. It is waiting for the final command. The dead man's clause. I whispered, "Dot in the world of international finance. This is the ultimate poison pill. It is a legal trapdoor designed by my father. It states that if the founding assets of the company were obtained through a criminal act, the entire history of the firm is a legal nullity. It means the last 30 years did not happen. It means every profit, every dividend, every bonus ever paid to Marcus Thorne and Thomas Vance is now considered stolen property." I begin to type. The keys are heavy. They require a physical commitment. Every strike is a nail in the coffin of their empire. Clack, clack, clack. Clack. The command is simple. Protocol 00 across the globe. In the servers of every major bank, the Lazarus node begins its work. It is not just freezing accounts. It is initiating a total systematic clawback. I watch the monitors on the wall. The digital tickers are going wild. The numbers are spinning backward. 100 billion, 90 billion, 50 billion. The wealth of Sterling and Thorne is evaporating. It is being pulled back by the state. The Treasury Department has already been alerted by the Swiss servers. The fraud is so massive, so systemic, that the government has no choice but to seize everything. "What are you doing?" Marcus Thorne screams. He is being held by the marshals. He is watching the screens. He is watching his life's work turn into smoke. "That is my money. You can't take it. I earned that." "You didn't earn it, Marcus," I say. I don't look at him. I keep my eyes on the code. "You stole the seeds. And now the state is harvesting the crop. You are not just going to jail. You are going to be a ward of the government. You will not have a cent to your name. Not for a lawyer. Not for a phone call. Not for a meal." The lights in the building flicker. The power is being redirected. The elevators are homing to the lobby. The security systems are resetting to the original Sterling protocols. I see the bank accounts of Thomas Vance appear on the screen. The numbers are plummeting. 12 million. 6 million. 1 million. Thomas Vance drops his briefcase. The papers spill out onto the silk rug. He sinks to his knees. He is staring at the screen. He is seeing 30 years of betrayal vanish in 30 seconds. "My daughter," Thomas whispers. "Her trust fund. Her school? Gone." My mother says. She stands over him. She looks like a statue of justice. "You paid for her life with my husband's blood." "The state doesn't care about your daughter, Thomas. The state cares about the truth." The silence that follows is absolute. The hum of the servers is the only sound. It is a digital funeral dirge. I look at the floor. The spit from Marcus Thorne is still there on my boot. It is a white, ugly mark. I take a silk handkerchief from the desk. I wipe the boot clean. I throw the handkerchief onto the floor. I am done being a janitor. The doors to the boardroom burst open again. This time, it is not the marshals. It is the local police. The NYPD, they are followed by a team from the Internal Revenue Service. And the Securities and Exchange Commission, they are carrying black cases. They have tactical vests. They move with the efficiency of a cleanup crew. The lead officer walks to the center of the room. He looks at the chaos. He looks at Marcus Thorne in handcuffs. He looks at Thomas Vance on his knees. "Have the warrants?" the officer says. Total systematic seizure. "We are here for the physical assets. And the individuals," he turns to his team. "Get the zip ties." I watch as they approach Thomas Vance. They don't use the heavy steel cuffs the marshals used on Marcus. They use the plastic zip ties, the kind they use for mass arrests, the kind that dig into the skin, the kind that are meant for criminals who have no status left. The sound of the plastic zipping shut is a sharp, final sound. Zip. Zip. Thomas Vance is pulled to his feet. He looks like a ghost. He looks like a man who has already died. Marcus Thorne is being dragged toward the door. He is still screaming. He is still fighting. He is still trying to be the king of the tower. "This is my building?" Marcus yells. "I am Marcus Thorne. You can't do this to me. The officer doesn't even look at him. You're nobody, Mr. Thorne. According to the system, you don't even have a valid social security number anymore. You are a legal nonentity. They lead them out. The board members follow. The assistants follow. The room is emptying. The power is being stripped away. The elite are being purged from the heights. I am left standing with my mother. The boardroom is dark now. The green glow of the Lazarus node is the only light. It illuminates her face. She looks tired, but she looks free. Is it over? I ask. My voice sounds strange in the empty room. It sounds like the voice of the man I was supposed to be. The erasure is complete, Shay says. She looks at the Lazarus deed on the table. They have nothing left. The state will take the company. The building will be sold to pay the victims. And the Sterling name is finally clean. I walk to the window. I look at the city. The lights are bright. The world is moving on. They don't know that the empire above them has just been deleted. They don't know that the janitor has one. But I feel a cold sensation in my gut. I look at the green screen. The Lazarus node is still active. There is a new line of text appearing. It is pulsing. It is a warning. System override detected. External source connected. My heart skips a beat. I move to the terminal. Mother, someone else is in the system. She frowns. She walks to the screen. That's impossible. Only you and I have the keys. I type the command to track the source. The typewriter keys move with a frantic. Violent speed. The screen shows a map. A location. It is not in the building. It is not in Zurich. It is in the basement. My basement. The place where I kept the typewriter. The place where I thought I was safe. I realized the mistake. When I activated the node, I left the bridge open, and someone has been waiting for that bridge to open for 20 years. I look at the monitor. A message appears on the screen. It is not in the green code of the Lazarus node. It is in a different font. A modern font. Thank you for the access, Arthur. I've been looking for the sovereign deed for a long time. The screen goes black. The lights in the boardroom go out. The building goes silent. I hear a soft, clicking sound from the corner of the room, the sound of a camera turning. We are not alone. The erasure was not the end. It was the invitation. The real master of the shadow, still in the building, and they have just locked the doors. The screaming has stopped. The heavy oak doors have clicked shut. The elevator chimes one last time. A soft, final sound, like a bell tolling for a dead king. Marcus Thorne is gone. He is no longer a billionaire. He is no longer a titan. He is a number in a system that has already forgotten his name. Silence returns to the 50th floor. It is a thick, heavy silence. It feels like the weight of the entire building is pressing down on this room. The air is cold. It is filtered and sterile. It smells of expensive wood polish and the faint, lingering scent of Marcus's cologne. A scent of desperation and defeat. My mother stands beside me. She is a statue of endurance. She is wearing a simple black dress. It is the same dress she wore the day they took my father away. She looks at the empty chair. The chair where Marcus Thorne sat for 30 years. The chair that was built by her husband. It is over, Arthur. She says. Her voice is a whisper, but it fills the space. It is the sound of a storm that has finally passed. Not yet. I reply. I turn back to the monitor. The message from my basement is still there. The intruder is waiting. They think they found a back door. They think they are the new shadow. They saw the chaos. They saw the systematic erasure. And they thought they could swoop in and claim the crown. I type a final command. It is not a sequence of numbers. It is not a financial code. It is a name. My father's middle name. A name only I would know. The screen flickers. The modern, sharp font disappears. The green glow of the Lazarus node returns. But this time, it is different. The code is not just text. It is a living map. It is a map of the world's financial arteries. I can see the flow of money in real time. I see the heartbeats of the central banks. I see the pulses of the stock markets in Tokyo, London, and New York. I know you are watching. Say, I speak to the small, hidden camera lens in the corner of the room. You helped Marcus Thorne. You gave him the evidence to frame my father. You thought you could use the Sterling name as a front for your shadow war. You thought the janitor was just a witness. A voice comes through the hidden speakers in the ceiling. It is not a human voice. It is a synthesized tone, cold, precise. It is the voice of the system itself. The system requires a head. Arthur Sterling. Marcus was a temporary vessel. He was a blunt instrument. You are a better one. You have the blood. You have the deed. You have the will to destroy. I am not your vessel. I say I reach for the brass key. I do not turn it in the typewriter this time. I turn it in a small, hidden slot on the side of the obsidian desk. The desk hums. A secret compartment opens. Inside, there is a physical switch. A master kill switch. It is made of cold, industrial steel. My father didn't just build a bank. I say to the empty room. He built a reset button. He knew that one day, the shadow would try to take the light. He knew that if the system becomes corrupt, the system must die. You won't do it, the voice says. The tone is flat, but I can hear the digital hesitation. You will lose everything. The money, the power, the building. You will be a janitor again. You will return to the dirt. I look at my mother. She nods. There is no fear in her eyes, only a deep, ancient pride. I press the switch. The building goes pitch black. The lights of the city outside remain bright, but the Sterling Tower becomes a dark monolith, a hole in the sky. The servers in the basement scream as they lose power. The fans stop spinning. The data lines go cold. The ghost network is purged. The shadow servers are fried. The intruder is cut off. Total darkness. I wait. My heart is beating slowly. 1, 2, 3. Then the lights come back on. But they are not the red emergency lights. They are not the harsh white fluorescence that Marcus loved. It is the warm, amber glow of the original Sterling designs. The building feels different. It feels alive. It feels honest. The system has been rebooted. It is clean. It is sovereign. The screen on the wall shows a final message. Sovereign recognized. Arthur Sterling active. I am the owner. Not of a company, not of a brand, but of the infrastructure that moves the world's wealth. I am the man who holds the keys to the kingdom. I walk to the floor-to-ceiling window. I look down at New York. The city looks like a motherboard from this height. The traffic lights are bits of data moving through the streets. The skyscrapers are capacitors storing the energy of millions of lives. The people are the current. They are the blood in the veins of the world. I can see it all now. Every bank, every real estate deal, every federal law. It all flows through the sovereign trust. Every time a person swipes a card, every time a corporation signs a merger, every time a government prints a bill. They are using my system. I am not a CEO. CEOs can be fired. CEOs can be arrested. CEOs are just actors playing a part in a theater of cage 8. Of greed. I am the man who owns the theater. I am the man who owns the ground they walk on. I am the man who owns the code they use to breathe. I am the man who owns the silence. I look at my hands. They are clean now. The smell of bleach is gone. The grime of the basement is gone. My hands are steady. They are the hands of a craftsman. They are the hands of a king. I am still wearing the gray jumpsuit. The name Arthur is still stitched over my heart. It doesn't feel like a uniform anymore. It feels like a disguise. It is a reminder of where I came from. It is a reminder that the world ignores the man who cleans the floor, and that is their greatest mistake. The world will look at this building tomorrow. They will see the news reports of the arrest. They will see the photos of Marcus Thorne in zip ties. They will read about the $100 billion default. They will think the empire is dead. They will think the Sterling name is a relic of history. They will never know that the empire just changed its skin. They will never know that the janitor is the one who decides who wins and who loses. I turn back to my mother. She is standing by the desk. She is touching the wood of her husband's legacy. She looks at me and smiles. "What now, Arthur?" she asks. I look back at the city. The lights of 1,000 towers are reflecting in my eyes. No? We clean the rest of the world. I reach out and touch the glass. It is cold. It is hard. But the power in my veins is hot. The sovereign has returned, and I am just getting started. I walk to the door. I do not look back at the boardroom. I do not look back at the obsidian table. I go to the elevator. The doors open for me before I even reach them. The system knows my stride. It knows my intent. I step inside. The lift descends. Fast, silent. I'm going back to the street level. I have a world to rebuild, and 1,000 more ghosts to set free. The hunt for Marcus Thorne was just the first floor. The building of justice goes all the way to the stars. The door to the lobby opens. The night air hits my face. It smells of rain and ozone and freedom. I walk out into the city. The janitor is gone. The sovereign is here, and the world will never be the same. The tower is quiet now. The janitor's closet is empty. But the city knows. They see the lights of the Sterling building, and they know that someone is finally watching. Someone who knows what it's like to be at the bottom. Marcus Thorne is a memory, but Arthur Sterling, he is the system. If you learned one thing today, let it be this. Never look down on the person cleaning your floors, because you never know. They might just own the ground you're standing on. The ghost has finished his work. The world is finally clean.